Now I'm going to introduce you to Chris. Chris is another fellow Irishman. I promise it's not our only criteria for hiring here at Albert Bow. And we're going to get Chris out of his comfort zone here. He'd be rather on his desk talking to 1,000 candidates a day. So he doesn't necessarily like this whole camera thing, but we're going to work on it, aren't we?
We'll give it a go.
Chris, give a bit of an introduction to yourself and talk to me about tell everyone about the market that you cover.
Yeah, well, I'm Chris. So I was originally a C++ engineer myself in the video game space. Then since that, went traveling around the world, financial advisor over in Mexico. Just kind of fell into the world of trading and finance kind of through there. So what I do now is kind of combined those two passions, and I place low latency C++ devs primarily within the crypto space over in the US there.
Nice. And what are you actually seeing on the market at the moment? Are you seeing anything in particular?
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of movement in the market, primarily in the kind of crypto market. There are a lot of like firms popping up, then crashing pretty after a couple of months. So there's a lot of movement of really, really good engineers. A lot of the bigger firms then are going through massive projects. So it's very, very busy spot at the minute.
Nice, good. And you have the nice balance of like working with kind of the smaller, more boutique style trading businesses, and obviously the bigger top tier firms as well. So it's a good offering you have for your candidate pool. Look, I've asked everyone, and it's interesting because I'm getting different answers. There's two sides of the coin here. There's clients and there's candidates in our market. From a candidate perspective, what are you kind of feeling would be a good way to stay competitive and get your foot in the door for like a highly competitive role where there's maybe another 1,000 or maybe even 2,000 in some cases people applying? What are you kind of feeling would be a good differentiator for a candidate within the obviously C++ low latency space?
Yeah, well, I mean, I would always recommend, and to be fair, most of them do at this level, is tailor your CV to every single job that you are applying for. If you're going to go for a hedge fund, or whether it be a small scale boutique HFT or one of the larger ones, you very much want to tailor your CV towards that specifically. I always recommend have a look through the job description and just put in all of the info that's on it, regurgitated back out with your own spin on it. Nice.
And look, we're here. It's a free service to get any CV advice as well. So look, Chris, I'm sure you could do it maybe 1,000 times a day, which might be annoying at those numbers, but always reach out to us for those services as well. Now on the client side, it's I think everyone, whenever you're hiring a quant dev or C++ or low latency, like I feel like every firm feels like their firm's special and it's like people should want to work here. And that's we know for a fact that that's not the case. As a client or company trying to hire top devs, what would you do? What would you like how would you show up? How would you compete against, let's say, if you're a mid firm and you necessarily don't know it yet, trying to compete with the candidates that are going for the top 1% businesses? How would you differentiate yourself?
Well, I mean, there are some candidates that do like to go for the big firms because of the name value behind them. What I have been finding a lot more over the last couple of months is just a massive surge in candidates who are much more concerned about how much direction that they will be given and ownership over the projects that they'll be working on. So for a mid firm, trying to attract the best talent is really lean in onto this is how much responsibility and how much actual kind of ownership you're going to have, rather than going to one of the big firms and where you're just told what to do and just coding away.
Yeah, 100%. And I think obviously, I don't want to take your answer, but one thing that obviously makes you quite special in our room anyway, because there's not many people like obviously go from software engineering into sales or recruitment, so we're very lucky to have that skill set in the room. What makes Chris different to anyone else, any other headhunter, anyone else in the space that are also trying to get a hold of these candidates and clients? What's your USP?
Yeah, well, I mean, generally speaking, what I would say my USP would be is understanding the technical side of it. So I know that you can have a chat with a client, taking up a job brief, and sometimes it can feel like just buzzwords, but just being able to really understand that and instantly knowing then from looking at a CV, from having a quick conversation, how up to scratch a candidate is on their technical skills, and being able to go into an in-depth conversation about what it is they actually do and test their knowledge a little bit more.
Nice.
Rather than they sound good, we'll send them over. That's just, I suppose as well, I'm very much have an interest within the technical side. There are conversations that I really enjoy having, so it's kind of a bit more passionate about it, I suppose, than a lot of other recruiters would. absolutely.